420 blunts for duck people. Hey, buddies. Blunts for duck people. .420 blunts for duck people. Hey, buddies.
Joe on the path of life, so turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright, I'm dreaming about music. I'm just an average Joe on the path of life, so turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright, I'm dreaming about music. I close my eyes on a pillow and wake up on a stage where I'm dreaming about making more than minimum wage. The day's short, I don't know if I'ma see another. So I've been looking through the music like I'm Stevie Wonder. Make a mission that I've been making's different. I'm hungry, my tummy aching. Take a listen. jukebox in my third eye. Word life, you heard right. Trying to get unstoned and stop living the curb life. The blurred light, hope at the end of my tunnel. But my head's been in the sky.
I like to wake up to Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew. When I wake up in the morning, this is what I like to wake up with. Mr. Wake and Bake, Happy Bongos, and Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew.
Kids know the cat is on the run. He ride the
Welcome back. We're here again to get high and talk about movies. I'm joined again by Zach and Professor Boutte. Background there, because
No matter where you go, there you are.
As you can see, I have it on the TV behind me.
it is becoming a movie club classic now. So, so how was shoveling?
Oh my goodness. Thankfully, somebody helped with the snowblower, but I still have a lot.
That is awesome. No one helped me, and my back is sore.
Where's our third partner?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure he will turn up.
All right.
Is that better?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
But until Ryan can join us, I know he had to go to Aurelian back, so I'm not sure if he's headed home and joining us or if he's going to come join me here. But yeah, I'm sure he'll join us at some point. Well, I mean, if you're hitting one, might as well flash it up, right?
Yeah, I got to get loaded up for the show,
Very true.
for the stream.
This evening, we are going to be talking about Man from Earth, Wolves, and Man of Tai Chi. Those perfectly fit between us. Oh, I love
I'm
this
not
scene.
sure. I was thinking about Wolves. I wanted to save this for on stream. I'm not sure I like another werewolf movie more than this one.
What about what's it called? Like the big one with like it goes back in time. It's all werewolves and vampires. It was a game, I'm pretty sure. A lot of black leather came out.
You might be thinking about Underworld.
Yeah.
They're good, but I like this in terms of a believable, like, hey, this guy doesn't know what he is and he doesn't know about the world. Like, it just seems realistic of how he would travel around.
True enough. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like this movie. I was really surprised because, going into it, it was picked at random. So it's not like Pearson was like, hey, this is my favorite movie. He accidentally picked a film that was rumored and may come out one day, but is yet to come out. The Crow with Jason Momoa. So we ended up with just a random pick, Wolves. And honestly, one of the better random picks we've pulled out.
Probably the best, honestly.
Well, if we're comparing them to yours, yes.
Yeah, because I'm the only one that's done them. I think you did one, but it turned out okay.
Yeah, the only good one you've done is Phone Booth. That was sight unseen.
I had foreknowledge that it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't really blind.
I don't remember what movie I picked blindly.
Oh, you did
recently, and I'm sure I have a poster of it.
You did, though, and it turned out really good. And I was mad.
Nope. I kind of have them all collecting around here. I was thinking at some point I'd plaster walls with them or something.
Now it's bothering me that I can't remember because I know this happened.
No, that's the Spider-Man spoilers. Oh, it was Anna and the Apocalypse.
That's it. A musical at that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Okay, no, this is the best blind pick so far.
I like Wolves better.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I mean, again, if you're going to handle this type of property, there's not a lot of ways to handle it without getting a little campy on purpose, right? Like,
yeah.
And Jason Momoa's character, the arc, it's the only part I didn't like was just how, like, once again, 3 lines of dialogue and I was misunderstood. So all the bad shit I did since then is okay. Like now I'm a model father.
Yes. well, he usually I guess he doesn't always play the good guy, but he's become a big star.
He normally plays a very righteous character.
You don't know who he was on Game of Thrones, though. He was basically a rapist.
A what?
A rapist.
Oh, that's sad. Oh, your scene's coming up behind you.
Yes, I'm watching it. What, the stupid bar? They're all musicians now.
Hey, nothing wrong with them all being musicians.
And then he just happens to pick on a girl crying in the audience who turns out to be the long lost missing twin sister of his wife, who he doesn't even recognize, even though they look identical.
So I'm going to ignore all of that for a minute.
Very convenient.
And just bring up the fact that, the other parts of it that may seem unbelievable are the fact that he's like an astronaut, physicist, pilot, yada, 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 right? And musician. But I mean, in reality, I happen to know a drummer that's a physicist. I happen to know another drummer that's an engineer. I happen to know multiple guitar players.
I know what you're saying, but
so I'm just saying, like, even if you go, okay, so I know you didn't watch it, but even if you watch How I Met Your Mother, Marshall was in a lawyer-based jazz band or a funk band called The Funk Nothing or the Funk Nothing But the Funk, or what, like, it's the truth but the funk instead. And they were all high-end like law students and then lawyers. So I'm just saying, professionals are also musicians.
There's a few diversions there I need to wind back through. First of all, it's close enough now. I think I can mention this to you if you don't already know. Did you know there's a new show coming out soon called How I Met Your Father?
It had been rumored. I didn't know it got greenlit, and I'm already pissed off that they didn't do it back then when everybody was the right age. So
my understanding is it's kind of some of the same people involved, and I think it's airing next month.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it because, like, do you know anything about it yet? Is it like Ted again? Like, is it Ted's wife's story now?
I don't know enough of that other than just to tell you this thing exists and it's coming really soon. And it's involved with the original somehow.
Oh yeah, so it is. It's going to be okay. Yeah, so in the last season of How I Met Your Mother, they did an episode called How I Met Your Father, and they introduced all these really fun, unique characters that are semi counterparts.
Sorry, one second. My dog's going somewhere. She should, because I left the door open.
Okay.
Betsy.
We've lost Zach, and in that time, I think we'll throw up. We have no, I don't need to throw up anything. Again, anybody watching at any point, if you type bongo time in the chat, I will, or Zach will, or we will all hit a bong. And we'll have some fun. But again, so there's this episode in the last season of How I Met Your Mother where they do How I Met Your Father, and there's counterpart people to everybody, and it goes, and it kind of goes, like, it quickly touches on all the times that they're in the same place that were already hinted by the yellow umbrella, which, I mean, this series was writing interconnectivity like before the Marvel universe started.
Wasn't Bob Saget involved with it?
Yes. Oh, and that's all. I forgot about that entirely. He's the voice of older Ted,
Yeah,
which never makes any fucking sense because the last episode they show older Ted and then it's Ted's voice, and you're like, wait, what? Like, there was 8 seasons of Bob Saget narrating, and now there's just like, now he's old Ted, and it's just Ted, same voice.
I just remembered South Park really rips apart Bob Saget. Now I want to watch that episode again.
Do they really rip him apart, or do they give him justice through fun and games?
Yeah,
Does it
I'm just
seem like
thinking
he
of a
respect Bob Saget?
I'm just thinking of a bit he does where he talks about watching it with his daughters, and he's like, "Oh, great, what are they gonna do?" And he's like, I mean, they don't rip him apart, but his jokes are basically, "Hey, I'm Bob Saget," ha ha ha, like that from America's Funniest Home Videos.
And now his comedy is just, haha, I'm Bob Saget. Fuck, piss, fuck. Man, his roast was really good. But yes, Bob Saget plays the voice only of well, for all 8 seasons, he's the voice of Ted. Or the old voice of Ted, because this is all taking place while Ted tells the story of how he met his wife. But the reality is, and I kind of called it early on in the show, that no matter who the wife ends up being, the whole story is going to be about him getting together with Robin. And they kind of really leaned hard into no, it won't, no, it won't, no, it won't. And then, like, all right, well, now you're leaning too hard into it. And by the end of it, yes, that's the spoilers for anybody who's not watched all of How I Met Your Mother.
Even
And
I knew. I looked up who it was. It's Robin. I don't know who Robin is, but she was on the show for a while.
Robin's not the mother, though. The mother, the star of the show we're about to see, she dies. Like, she's only on How I Met Your Mother for like 3 episodes. They run through their life together. All of a sudden, he's old. They're at the place that they've shared and met at, and yeah, she's dying. And then he's single for a long time, and then they realize that he's in love with Robin this whole time, and he goes after her. Now that it's acceptable, because the whole problem with them originally is that she hated kids and didn't want to have any of her own. You look creepily dark on one side of you, like perfectly, like you painted it.
It's the lighting, and it's adjusting itself depending on the TV brightness, I'm noticing.
I'm guessing so. But it's creepy from this side.
I don't have the nice lighting setup you gave. This is the best I could manage.
I can definitely send you home with some lighting.
Well, hopefully I'll be in the studio more. It's just the snow.
Yeah, well, you'll be back in the studio tomorrow. Or I mean Wednesday, sorry. If you're coming to town. Yeah, I haven't actually heard from Pearson as of yet, but I will I think we can at least start talking about, let's say, your film. Pearson also confided to me that he hadn't seen our film, so if he makes it a little late, we can talk about his movie. Man from Earth. Jerome Bixby's Man from Earth.
Sorry, the guy on the TV behind me right now? Oh, he just disappeared.
Oh, sorry.
He's the main character in the new Dexter season. He's a famous actor. You'll recognize him right away. The guy with the curly hair.
All right. I will watch for him as we discuss Man from Earth. So you've seen this film, obviously, before this session of the movie club, correct?
Yes.
How did you stumble upon this film? And do you want to give it a quick synopsis and breakdown then we'll get into opinions?
Yeah, it's almost one of those ones you don't even want to say anything about, just because once you know what it is, that's kind of the whole movie.
All right, well, obviously, spoilers for anybody checking us out. We are talking about the films in the title, and right now we are talking, we have spoilers for Jerome Bixby's Man from Earth.
Yeah, so this guy's leaving town. He's moving away, and he gathers his friends who are all educated in various fields. And he says,
well, technically, sorry, I hate to, like, they actually bombard him. He tries to sneak off without interacting with them.
Oh, I guess yeah. Well, it feels like he wants to tell them that Wild City.
Oh, for sure. Like, it feels like you were talking about earlier, it feels like a larger part of the con.
Well, we got to explain.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Sorry, yeah, he tries to
run away. I've lived forever, basically. I've lived thousands of years. Just prove it. And then he tells all these stories that kind of make you think he's telling the truth. And it's awesome, because you can't tell.
Yes. But he gathers very, very smart people. Well, a couple smart people and then one Christian theologist. I shouldn't be that mean. I once wrote a paper on the Lutheran reform of when Martin Luther fought for the republication and putting the Bible in other languages so that more different people, like more different cultures, could read it instead of just priests.
Are you telling me the Lutheran Bible is something based off Martin Luther King?
No. Rod, don't add the third.
I don't know because I'm like,
No, don't add the
did I
third
not
name.
know this? That sounds like something I should know.
Other way around. Martin Luther was alive like 700 years ago. Martin Luther King is named after Martin Luther King Jr.
That makes
Obviously,
much more sense. I was like, oh my god, I'm maybe one of the stupidest people on earth, but
no,
that might be true. It's just not about this particular topic.
no. Martin Luther was Lutheran religion is based on Martin Luther, but the original from a long time ago. Wow, how do we start out? How the hell did we get here? Man from Earth, right? So
You're
this
saying
is
Martin Luther King appropriated Martin Luther's culture from 2,000 years ago.
well, we're just gonna move on from that comment. From the creepy half dark face man. Like half your face doesn't exist. It's really weird. I
Should
like
I
it.
not do it? I can
No,
adjust.
it's great. I don't care. It's great. So, Man from Earth. I mean, this is literally the way it is shot and set up. It is a C film. There's no arguing its level for B. Some of the camera works like it's oversaturated, it's undersaturated, it's overlit. Like it's pretty bad for the most part. So, but it's like watching a Kevin Smith film that's really intellectual, and I loved it. The dialogue was just captivating, no matter how bad the everything else was, like the editing and like the video is unnecessary for the conversation.
And I realized this movie, maybe one of the reasons I like it so much is it's like the other things I enjoy, such as Minecraft or Strange Music, where there's just something behind it that is what I'm after, and the actual surface presentation doesn't matter so much.
Sorry, say that again.
I was just saying that it reminds me of things I like Minecraft or Factorio or Strange Music, where the surface it seems like garbage, but there's something underneath that's valuable, I find.
I mean, I have given some of your music a listen, but some of it's just garbage.
Oh yeah, I haven't sent you the truly good stuff yet, still.
But no, I get what you're saying. And that's why I'm equating it to Kevin Smith, right? Where like, if you watch Clerks, the brilliance in Clerks isn't that he shot it in black and white or that it's pretty or that the editing's good. None of that's good. He wrote brilliant dialogue, and it didn't matter what it looked like. The fact that Mallrats is no larger than Clerks just shows that he wrote another movie that has stunning dialogue and also had millions of dollars or $1 million to make it look pretty. And in the end, he just ended up with the same result.
There was one summer in university I woke up every day and watched Mallrats during summer break.
Oh my God, you just made my heart so happy.
That was my wake up routine. Just have it on while I'm getting ready.
Oh, I love everything about that movie. Brody is just a brilliant character.
It's been a good 20 years since I've seen it. I've probably forgotten most of it, but goddamn, I loved it.
At any point, I'm totally down for doing like a Kevin Smith-a-thon.
Well, it meets the criteria of 30-year-old movies.
I mean, not if you pick. You could pick.
Tusk.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? Honestly, if I were to pick one to do, I'd probably pick Red State.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or Dogma. Sorry, I know.
Oh, Dogma's movie is best.
Dialogue-wise, fun, everybody getting involved, like the people that he got to be involved in it. Yes, I think Dogma might be his best, but Red State sets out to fucking say something and he accomplishes it.
I guess I like the paranormal aspect and showing God and the devil and everything is just it's just a mess. Like it's like Humperdoo from Preacher.
But I mean, there is nothing supernatural in Red State.
Right. No, I'm talking about Dogma. Why it's my favorite.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, he said he's trying to say the same thing that he said in Dogma in Red State, but now he's just way darker about it. And I mean, he got like, do you know the story of him getting in a full out like brawl with Westboro?
Yeah.
Like, he ended up like getting the daughter to come to the premiere, and he's just okay. So for instance, when a lot of Hollywood joined on the Me Too thing, which again, I'm not going to comment on anything about that besides the fact that a lot of people spoke openly about the movement but didn't do anything about it, whereas Kevin Smith said, all right, I'm not taking any more money from any of the, he's like, I can't give back any of the money, sorry, like I live in the house that Mallrats built, what do you want? But he stopped any new dividend, any new money coming in from any of the movies made under Weinstein.
Yeah,
So,
I knew he was not doing the stuff with the money. Yeah.
So I mean, like, at least he stands up and he says something and he does something, and you know, he's got no problem just openly bad mouthing people in Hollywood, which always makes me so the rope scene.
I might have jumped ahead to put it on.
The best use of a rope in any film ever.
I was trying to think of how to phrase it, why it bothers me so much. And it's like the opposite of a solution. Like it's a problem looking for a solution, or a solution looking for a problem. Like if you have this terrible place to film that's associated with sewage and crime and dirty things.
There it is.
Yeah,
I love this. Oh, but okay, so it's not associated with that. It's actually associated with just rebellion and stuff. People have used it in so many different movies for so many different things, skateboarding, stunts, so on and so forth, right?
Just go film somewhere else if you need to have a rope to lower yourself into this sewer place. Like it's just
should SEAL Team 6 go defend the US somewhere else because they have to use a rope?
Why would they
what
just
is your problem with ropes?
Park? And there's no need to have the rope involved at all. There's no need for any of this. Just walk through the park.
I've never known you to be a minimalist though. Like, well, why can't they have a rope?
You know, you're just trolling me.
But it's absurd, and you normally love absurdities.
Oh, but I just picture the meeting where they're like, okay, we got to film the end credits scene. Oh, but we can't get down here. Well, I got an idea. Let's use a rope. Why wouldn't someone there be like, let's just not shoot here. Let's just go somewhere else where we don't need to deal with this.
Or why not
it angers me.
So here's the other part that will boil you now that I've said it. Nobody else is shown entering.
Yeah.
Well, why couldn't he just already be down there?
And I've said that too. Like, there's so many levels this messes it up. And it's so ugly and cheap and stupid looking, and like it doesn't make him look cool. It's like oh, there goes the maintenance worker. He's got to rappel down into the sewer. Like, that's not
I promise you, I'm gonna work that exact thing into a music video just for you.
Don't do it.
Well, I have to. Not all of this, not the rest of it, just the throwing of a rope and the sliding down.
And this is just bizarre group walking through an underpass or whatever it is. And then cheap graffiti. If we know people that could do 10 times the job of the art of that graffiti.
Masterpiece.
I could do a better job, and I suck at art.
I'm just telling you, man, the whole film is just a masterpiece.
Well, no, I disagree strongly.
So again, what brought you to this film? How'd you find this one?
Oh, it was from a list of like what's some of the best movies you've seen. It was one of those top 10 lists from Reddit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, the conversation is that good. It's really, really, really well written. I guess the heart attack kind of caps off the now she's the only one that knows for sure. Because that's where we're left, right? Like, she's literally the only person that knows the truth 100%.
Yeah, and I know I'm getting old now because I actually think I would have preferred it if they left it open, which I used to hate. I always hated anything open ended, but I'm enjoying
Why do
more and
you
more.
equate that with getting old?
Oh, because it was such a core thing of everything I liked that if it didn't have a solid explanation, I hated it. And it's like, wow, I've lived long enough now to enjoy the opposite and actually want it.
Well, it's always nice when a movie gives you a little bit of existential dread, little reminder of your mortality.
It's just how much you can change. Trump 2024. I'm kidding, but it's like, what else could happen? What else could go opposite?
That exact thing ended a show once. Not that I would this time. Like it was set in much different context, but yeah, like this movie is so simple that there's not a lot to even be said about it. Like now, I gotta talk about he's Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't need. I hate when it always ends up being, oh, I was like some of the most important people.
No, I loved it. I loved the confirmation that it was just Buddhism repackaged. Do you know what I mean? Like these are things that have been talked about before and people have theorized. But I just like him saying, no, that was all I was trying to do, man. These people are just stupid.
I would have preferred it though if it wasn't him. He's like, I'm passing it on, and where I was there and shaped it.
Oh, like okay, for a minute, right before he admitted to being Jesus, I thought they were gonna say he was, yeah, when she's like an apostle.
Yeah,
And then when he corrected, I'm like, oh man, why couldn't you just be an apostle?
or not
Why
even, or
couldn't
just
you just
I was in the town.
counsel?
I knew the apostles too, but I wasn't one of them.
Pardon?
He doesn't even have to be an apostle. It's just I don't like, yeah, when movies always go, oh, I was Dracula, I was Jesus, I was,
Oh,
Lord
and
of
they even give him credit for Dracula
the
very early. They do. They're like, oh, so maybe early on, why? Because you didn't age. Like when
yeah.
he was talking about like the early creation of Dracula, like, oh my god, how like. Then that's when it was like clear that I figured they were going to be doing more historic figures as soon as they mentioned the first vampire.
It's as silly as your ex-wife's long lost twin sister being in the bar and crying, and you just happen to pick on her. It's like, come on, no. It's that level of silliness, and you don't need everyone to be everyone important.
Or maybe there's a bigger message in the fact that it all came from the same place, and like the whole message of this film is misinterpretation of meaning and intent. I think like his intent wasn't to make them uncomfortable. His intent was to explain who he is. But everyone after the halfway mark, everyone was just worried about, well, did you even think about how you'd make us feel with this knowledge?
Which I assume he would, because he's probably been through this hundreds of times.
Well, apparently only one other time, but and I like how they're like plot hole, and he's like, well, no, I've been alive for 14,000 years. I have the same size brain as you. How do you think I remember? I can't remember every moment of everything. Which, the thing, the disease Thena had in Internals. You got to imagine that if you could stay alive that long, if entropy really didn't take hold of your cellular regrowth, thanks for joining in. If you type bongo time at any point, we will smoke a bong.
Are you familiar with that woman who was on the TV show Taxi? Who has, I mean, she's one of those rare people that can remember pretty much everything.
Oh, eidetic memories.
Like truly, truly eidetic though. To the point where I've seen interviews where people will ask her, "What were you wearing this day?" and stuff. And because it was on television, there's records of it. Or what were your lines? And she just always recites everything perfectly without even a hesitation.
Could she just be sad and at home and just reciting her own lines all the time?
No, I mean, you can even ask her what she was wearing, what other people were wearing.
No, I'm
She'll-
just bugging you.
Doesn't
Which
matter what you got.
character is it? Which actress is it?
Oh, it's not hard to Google her. Just Taxi photographic memory. Remember, I forget her real name, and she's very nice and sounds very intelligent. But good God, it's crazy when you see interviews of the questions they ask her, and then she's right.
Wait,
So
what
some
did we-
people-
oh, right. So imagine if she got to live for just 2 lifetimes.
Yeah,
How elastic is the brain? Does
but we've never
entropy?
tested the limits, so we don't know.
Well, I mean, most humans get some sort of degenerative brain issue by the time they hit 80.
Yeah,
The likelihood of being fully aware and forefront, you know what I mean, and full capacity of your facets.
I guess I'm thinking more. We'll be able to eventually stop stuff from aging or let it live longer. So, given the brain as it is, how much could you actually remember if it didn't deteriorate?
Well, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like we currently can't judge that because our brains stop being elastic at some point. So, I mean, what does generation after generation after like if you could not just learn everything, but experience that many minutes of life? Like, no, but remember, we don't even remember that way, right? So we remember, like you said, traumas, large happy events, dopamine pushes. We don't remember brushing our teeth. Do you know what I mean? Like even the eidetic person most likely still has a filter for the truly unimportant information to be able to just wash away.
Well, that's what seems strange with people like her and a few others. It seems that everything seems important to them, so they just remember it all. Or have you seen that guy that they fly over a city? He can barely function, but he can draw. And he draws like the right number of windows in like every skyscraper and everything after one flight over a city.
Yeah. I've seen him draw in a big what do you call it? Panoramic room.
Yeah.
And he does all pencil drawings.
Yes,
Yeah, he has autism.
Yeah.
And
If you
yes,
don't know the limits, we'll know after the simulation.
Sorry.
We'll
Right.
pop out, read the stats.
true enough.
Like how many gigabytes?
Although we're
can
not talking about that movie this week. Sorry?
Like how many gigabytes was my peak memory at the best time of my life? What could it have been if I had maximized it?
I want to know processing power stats. That's always made me curious. And speaking of simulation, what did you think of this rather brilliant little martial art film? Oh, right. I'm supposed to give a synopsis. So this movie, Man of Tai Chi, anybody that's watched us in the past or just listened to Zach, complain about movies I like, I don't like subtitles. It's just ADHD. I very much like to be in the view of what's going on. And if I have to keep going back and forth, it just simply pulls me out to a degree. And this film is so damn good that it is worth watching twice in a row right away. just so that you can read it the entire time and then actually catch all of the great scenes where they talk over fighting and stuff. But this is what we imagine is going on in the dark web all the time. Underground fighting rings and for big bets and so on and so forth. And Keanu Reeves plays one of his he doesn't normally play a bad guy.
And also, for sure one of the customers would have been Epstein Island. They would have had a feed for sure. In fact, they probably had some fights on Epstein Island.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say it. I promised we wouldn't get political. It seems weird that I want to get more political on stuff just because I think it's the separation. Because now it doesn't feel like we're live. It feels like I'm just having like a Zoom with you. But, and yeah, Jeff Bezos. All hail Jeff Bezos. Yeah, so in the end, he obviously Keanu uses all of his influence to manipulate Tiger, which is the other character on the cover, to make him want to fight and want to kill inevitably. And then yada, 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 he's better than that. But I love it because this starts a series of films that I promised to pick that all end with brilliant last lines from Keanu. And this one's last line is, as he's laying there just about to die, just looks up at him. After all this, he goes, I knew you had it in you. Like, I knew I could get you to kill. One way or another, I still win. And I just think it's a brilliant way to end his character and the overall theme of the film. Because this character really did just always get his way. Might not have been always perfect, but in the end, he got his way. And my next one, we're not going to spoil what the last line is. Please don't spoil it. But my pick, which I'll say now, is going to be Knock Knock.
Okay.
And it has another prolific last line, which we'll discuss next week in person.
Oh, but actually, with Man of Tai Chi, one of my favorite things was the credits. It was just a camera panning around slowly the city skyline of, I assume, someplace in China, because that's what they said Tiger was from. Good God, just the number of buildings and windows. It's like, I get fascinated sometimes with the idea that I would love to pick one window and just get to know who lives there, everything about their life, because, God damn, there's a lot of... That city is huge. I've never even thought of it or heard of it in my life. It's crazy to know how many huge cities like that are all over the world that you'll never even know a single person from. It was just kind of a blind moment.
That's actually something I have a little bit of experience with, right? Because I've gotten to travel so much with my past career, being a salesperson and being an R&D. So, but the one thing I found is that no matter where I went, there I was. No. No, what I found was that, well, you know what, that was true also, but the core of every major metropolis, especially those with international airports, is the same. It's all Toronto. They're all melting pots. They all speak primarily English. It's easy to get around. It's designed for tourism and travel. It's only till when you get into the smaller areas that you actually start to see what a country is really about.
Well, that's kind of why I like
our American watchers.
I'm like, this city doesn't speak English. They'll be pretty different just from that alone.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is you have to get out of major metropolises for you not to be around, not to be able to find places to speak English.
Yeah.
Even China and Japan, or even like Hong Kong, let's say, and
oh yeah, they still speak it, but
what is the Hamamatsu, Japan? The tons of English everywhere. It's very Americanized, or very westernized. Most cities are, like, everywhere. Funny enough, the only two cities that really stand out as different that I've been to are both in Canada. Landing in St. John's, Newfoundland is fucking wacko. That place is just a different world, and I love it. Very few buildings that are over like 3 stories. And the ones that are all bars. And BC. Whenever I landed and went into Vancouver and was there for a couple days, it really did seem like I was someplace different. I'm not saying for good or for better or for worse, but like I spent a lot of time in Italy and I had to get out of Rome to feel like I was not in the US.
Really?
Yeah, completely. Airport to the first restaurant we went to because we were waiting for a ride to just doing some walking around. Like I only spent maybe 5 hours total in Rome. And man, all of it just felt like I was in the US. Whereas as soon as we got outside the ring, but that's the way all these cities are set up. They're set up as tourist traps. And if they aren't palatable to the US that spends probably some of the largest tourism money, then they won't go there, right? It's a sad reality of the world. Economics wrecks everything.
Yeah. Taco Bell will win the franchise wars.
I hope so.
Except I tried to go there the other day and it was closed. Only the KFC half was open.
Actually, it's really funny. We'll get way off topic here for a second, but Taco Bell, they filed patents in the US for a new design of building. Matt Pat did a whole thing of this where they involve essentially dumbwaiters and the whole restaurant's up.
We've talked about this, and you drive underneath it.
Yeah, and they felt like, wait, Taco Bell, like, were you ever in Barrie, Ontario? Because like I've been to this restaurant before. So
there's one kind of like that in Aurora too.
Sorry,
there's a McDonald's kind of like that in Aurora as well.
Where you drive under it?
You drive under a building that has a McDonald's in it. Yeah.
Oh, the gassy stuff's hitting the back of my throat hard. All right, sorry. So what did you think about the fighting?
Oh, it's crazy good. And Keanu it's nice to see him actually doing his own moves and stuff.
Oh, you mean not just...
Yes.
If you notice in this film, the only person that does that is not Keanu. The two people that use force movements are not Keanu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe that's where he learned it, was in this simulation. Because that's what people do now. They just tie every movie he's ever been in to The Matrix because it was just a different simulation.
Makes sense.
I mean, Johnny Mnemonic makes sense and a handful of others, but...
I feel like he dyed his hair or did something to try and look younger in this.
Well, this did come out in 2014.
Yeah, but I feel like he still was at least my age in this, and like my current age, and he doesn't look it at all.
Yeah, he hadn't started growing out his hair and beard by that point, at least, which I think just makes him look older and kind of confused.
Oh, but it was a really good pick. I was really into this one. It's like the Truman Show. They shaped his life. His life was being filmed.
I mean, I think it's a more common trope than just the Truman Show, but yeah, I guess they were taking true. Yeah, there's parallels. You just see a lot of these films where it's all about corruption of the good. So they often do that. They try and take away something that the money from doing this bad thing will help, and yada yada yada.
But he was like a movie star. Like he didn't realize it, but they were showing his struggle as part of the fights. Like, and his whole life was being filmed. It was like the Truman Show.
True enough.
I felt
like he had some awareness because he seemed to look at that statue a lot, which had a camera in it.
Yeah, but then he made the phone call to rat them out without realizing he was being filmed.
True enough. Or did he know?
Oh, it bothered me too that the Historical Preservation Society was like, well, we don't like what he did in the fight, so this site doesn't count as historical. It's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything, you idiots? Like, social credit score, what? What the fuck?
I mean, well, yes, sort of. I think it's commentary on certain countries' overreaching authoritarianism.
Yeah, and then he does what they want, and they're like, oh, well, now we're going to save it. So it's like, oh, so you didn't have any principles for why this.
Well, I mean, if you want to release in China, which is weird because you kind of see that in there that.
Oh yeah, it's
together and it was all fine.
But
no, that's dark. I didn't really put that one together.
Oh, it's just, propaganda that doesn't happen here. Get your booster. Anyway.
So, I think the film was kind of genius. The fighting scenes were really beautiful without being outrageously impossible.
I really like that fighting room. That was
the first one?
Clinical. Yeah, with the mirror.
Yeah. I love how the first attacker just like pops up like as if there was a trap door behind him.
And not a giant mirror that he would have seen him coming.
Right. Like the mirror really plays for cool looks, but really makes this master martial artist seem fairly unaware of his surroundings. Or the most vain Tai Chi master of all time. Hey, look how hot I am in this suit. I didn't notice an 8-foot tall door open behind my 5'7" body.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's some plot holes for sure. The final fight, I really liked when he fought his master, and the master still kind of won.
Yeah, that was
no. You go sit down, son.
He did get one good punch in, and then master's like, okay, enough of that.
But like the fight with Keanu, you pointed out this afternoon, because I think I kind of fell asleep the other night or last night when I watched it, so I rewatched just the last like 45 minutes again today, and it's not that Keanu was better than him; it's just Keanu was using a more forceful martial art. Seemed much wiser in his fighting style, and as soon as Tiger remembered his lessons and slowed down and centered himself, he was able to fight back comparably, and then inevitably able to use a trick from his master to force push.
I guess I just related to the real world where it's like, okay, is Vince McMahon or Dana White the best fighters just because they run the league? Does that ever happen?
Well, I mean, Vince McMahon has made himself the champion.
Could he actually beat up, say, Hulk Hogan?
Well, I know, but none of them can beat each other up. It's all fake.
Okay, but Dana White, the president of UFC, he can't kick any of those people's ass.
Maybe he could have won a fight back when they started this, but no, not now. He's like older than you.
I'm just saying Keanu's character would have been similar to those two.
He rose through the rankings of the martial arts world to become their leader because he was the best. I mean, if I'm explaining how the movie kind of looked like they set it up, that looks like that's how they meant it.
I'm just making fun of the movie magic, where that's how it works. The movie logic.
I do agree the movie is missing a little bit of logic.
Oh, no, but that's true logic, though. That makes perfect sense from that perspective. It's just funny when it's Americanized or blended, and it stands out more because you're like, that's not how it works over here, but it does over there.
But you did enjoy the film overall?
Oh, quite a bit, yeah. I really didn't expect it to be like the Truman Show. That's what really sold me.
Yeah, the whole real, like, it kind of like, it kind of feels a little tropey again, just because they use it to convince him not to murder. Whereas if he just wouldn't have watched that last film, he probably would have walked out there and killed the guy.
Yeah, maybe, but and again, it's Tai Chi. It's like the least killing thing. So
No, it's not.
when it's
yes, it's
people
supposed
doing
to
it
be,
slower.
it's supposed to be slow and pretty, but the movements are still vicious attacks and defenses.
I'm still though not aware of any professional fighters who say, "Oh, I'm Tai Chi." It's they might have started with that, but ends up Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or something like that. Muay Thai. No one comes to the UFC and says, "Oh, this guy specializes in Tai Chi."
Well, I was hoping after this film someone would, but I actually know what because there's other movies about Tai Chi in the martial art film world, and yeah, they go over that where they talk about what the movements are and why she can be such a good killer. So this isn't a new idea in at least the martial art film world.
And you would think that someone like him would go, "Well, I call it fast chi or something." Like, yeah, it's Tai Chi, but it's done at a proper speed. And that's the difference.
With powerful strikes instead of calming movements.
And telekinesis too.
No, not telekinesis. I would say more manipulation of surrounding.
Well, it's action at a distance, I guess. I'm calling that telekinesis.
Yeah, think about it like that shrimp that can like shoot an appendage out of its body at like 1,000,000 miles per second and like break the sound barrier.
So he's doing that with air.
Yeah.
I don't think they explained it, but I mean, you could say that.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. I have no idea, actually.
It had like his handprint somehow. So he was like pushing the air maybe against him.
See, it feels like it was like the Force meets the 5-point deadly fist palm move.
Yeah, 5-finger death punch, same thing.
Never say those words in that order again.
You don't like them?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, they're their place. They're just the Nickelback of metal. I don't hate Nickelback. I just hate Chad Kroeger. But yeah, they're just not my favorite metal band by any means. And
I hate Nickelback. I hate that singing style.
Well, all right then. You are allowed to hate that if you wish. Just checking in. No answer ever from Pearson, so hopefully he is safe on his journeys. And I think we can move on and maybe quickly discuss his film. What were your thoughts on Jason?
I loved it. Mimosa, I loved it. And there's someone that worked at this movie, some visionary who, it's got to be one guy, and I want to meet him because he's like, we got to set this up, but halfway through, we are going to get this bartender as naked as humanly possible. And sir, good God, man, like.
So, did you ever watch Letterkenny?
No.
The drunk sister?
Yeah.
She played.
Oh. I think we lost Barry here.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I should move the mouse a little further away. I hit the side button with my elbow.
So the drunk sister is on Letterkenny?
Yeah, and she plays the exact same character. It's Mrs. McMurray, but like she's a drunk chick that's always hammered, like nonstop, horny kind of too. But other than that, just not kind of took me out for a minute. I'm like, wait, is that her? Oh, it totally is her. Man, I like this is probably you're right. This is probably one of the best adaptations of the best handling of werewolves you can get.
I just really liked it, and man, I mean, like that was a brutal scene at the beginning with his parents all mutilated, and
I actually didn't see Joe coming.
And like he assaults the girl, but it's like he's becoming a werewolf, like as it's happening, and it's like, wow, this is dark and gritty, like right from the start.
It was funny how quickly everyone just turned on him, and like the guidance counselor, like the night of, is already talking about her new book.
Yeah, that was some nice little corporate digs and media digs there for sure.
Yeah, they made a statement, then moved on to have some fun.
And I don't know, like it's not nothing spectacular. It's nothing you wouldn't expect, but it's like, yeah, I just like the way they told the story.
Yeah, like this is the Lonely Wanderer. Like this movie's Roadhouse.
I haven't actually seen Roadhouse.
Same idea. Lonely Wanderer gets to town, wants to rent a little place up the hill, gonna help clean up the local town because he's the best bar. Yeah, he's gonna be a bouncer and help clean up the town.
Well, also, the prodigal son returns or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how even after he finds out, yeah, you're my kid. Oh, screw it. I'm just gonna come kill you.
Oh, but maybe you can clear something up because I'm still confused about this. Is that bartender his sister or something? Even though they didn't, like,
No,
but the mom is her mom or something.
no.
Okay, I misunderstood then because it was not clear to me at all.
I feel like they may have described it a second cousin situation at best, but it definitely wasn't brother sister.
Well, I was confused, but whatever. Somebody really wanted to see her naked from every angle, so they didn't leave anything to the imagination.
Can you imagine how great the world would be if all your wounds healed just because you had some sex?
The world would be overcrowded by now.
I have a compound fracture in my leg. You know what's going to really help? I'm going to go for a run. What?
Well, he's a werewolf. It's different. I don't know.
Oh crap! We accidentally did 2 Immortal movies.
Oh yeah. Also, I was thinking about how werewolves, they're running through the corn and everything's great. It's like, well, people in general are better than animals at a lot of things. Like they have bad eyesight, for instance. And why is it that it's always portrayed like you get the best of everything when the reality would probably be you might be like mangled mutants that barely good as either.
Like you look like a Ripley clone in
Resurrection.
Aliens 4. Yeah, Aliens Resurrection. Kill me.
Yeah. That's what I think actual hybrids would be like. They wouldn't be these alpha predators that are the best of both worlds.
Are you sure they wouldn't just sparkle?
I think that's vampires.
Well, I know, but that was the last major portrayal of werewolves also that made it huge into pop culture. Team Jacob and all.
Do they sparkle too?
No, I don't think so. Thank God. But I was more referencing the thing, but I think we should definitely light up a bongo time. Sorry,
I know this may be totally inappropriate, but I just remembered your mom going on and on about one of the werewolves from True Blood. She was in love. Elsie, for those who watch True Blood.
I seriously can't believe that you have that much in-depth knowledge of that show. But I mean,
love that show.
Huh?
I
thought
loved that show.
Oh. I can talk intelligently about Charmed, so I guess I can't be that surprised by you doing that.
It was good until like season 4 or 5 when it went off the rails, but I just finished it.
By off the rails, did they shoot to show? Was it just because they showed more porn or less porn?
Oh my god, season 2 is just a naked orgy. It's like this demon woman, seductress succubi. There's a scene with like 50 people having sex naked in a field. It's crazy.
All right, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good show until, yeah, it just, I don't know what happened, but I finished it. It was good.
Gonna do a dab.
But yeah, that had a lot of nudity before Game of Thrones did.
How clear does that come up through the mic?
Very well. Now I can't hear it. I also, I remember season 3, I think it was. I had a bet with a longtime girlfriend that my favorite character was going to get naked by the end of the season. And in the season finale, she did. And it was a very satisfying win on many levels.
I don't remember watching any shows that are heavy on nudity.
It was just a gratuitous stuff. The stories were good enough; they didn't need it. They just threw it in all the time.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I didn't watch that werewolf show. So
True Blood, more vampires. Werewolves came later seasons.
In True Blood, I thought it was all about werewolves.
No, it's all about vampires until like season 3 when they start showing up.
Oh.
Well, you find out one character is like a weird, like they're shifters. Some of them can turn into almost anything.
See, while you were checking out that show, I watched like that shitty WB version, Vampire Diaries.
What was that show about?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, it's about their diary. What was the setting?
No. Who keeps diaries? Who typically keeps
all through history?
No. Who typically keeps a diary currently? Teenage girls.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a teenage girl vampire drama?
Yeah, but she's not a vampire.
Is she dating one or something?
Yes, but she also might be a reincarnate. I don't know. I only watched the first season. I can't really intelligently speak about this. But it got boring really quickly because it wasn't very good. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't get back on the whole craze.
True Blood was really, really good for probably the first 4 seasons.
And I mean, now that my mom watched it so much, I don't think I even can.
It was very sexual. I mean, I wouldn't like knowing my mom watched the show like that show after. Yeah.
Yeah. So you understand my dilemma now. I just could never watch the show.
Yeah, that's probably good. I wouldn't want to know my mom had watched it. But it was very well done. I was really into it. It was based on books that were very popular.
We are definitely a share too much family. So I had a lot of fun on the this afternoon's live, bringing in getting to chat with 420 East or 420 Sesh. I got to catch his live for a little bit and join in and chat with him a little bit. I added another video.
420 blunts for duck people. Hey, buddies.
Seriously.
Blunts for duck people.
The original video of the first one, I had to cut it down just so I could actually send it on my phone. But I never even thought about plugging my phone into the computer. I'm stupid. Anyways, it shows them all taking off because I take a step forward and like there's easy 200 ducks there. So yeah, we stopped in and fed them and smoked some blunts and probably got a couple more videos out there. It's really fun to go smoke blunts with the ducks. Maybe on Wednesday we can take a walk down there. I can show you.
You showed me once, but there wasn't any ducks there.
Pardon?
You showed me the area once, but there weren't any ducks.
Well, they seem to be there. It's only when it gets cold, like really cold, because they kind of just huddle and keep warm together. But
Anyway, what did you think of wolves? Going back to that,
sorry?
like, what would you give wolves out of 10? Like, I'd give it at least an 8.
Oh my god, no! Like
7.5. Oh.
I mean, I feel like I'm being generous at a 6, max, like 5.5. But I mean, that's not horrible. Like we're talking about if we're measuring it against all films ever. No, it's not an 8. It doesn't live in the world of 8s. To rate this week's films as far as I enjoyed them, I'd imagine they all rank higher than a 6. But as they are as a film that I would actually like start taking apart, I mean, Man from Earth, I'd probably give it a 7 just because the film itself is so bad, but the dialogue's so brilliant. So you're like, I mean, the dialogue's got a 9, but the film has got like a 5. So, and Man of Tai Chi definitely has a 7.5 or higher for me.
Yeah, I'd give it 7.5 as well. You know, I think I liked Wolves even a little better than it, though.
Wow.
Even though, I mean, there was more substance to Man of Tai Chi. But in terms of what I like and entertained me and what I wanted to see. I don't know.
And you know how I'm always giving some of your picks shit for picking artsy over having any fucking substance whatsoever. I found my Man of Tai Chi had its artistic moments without overshadowing the story.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I'd say that about the ones I like too.
And for those, you'd be wrong. I mean, it's just how it is.
I'm trying to think the one where it really fit. Oh, it was.
Color.
What's that?
Upstream Color.
No, that was terrible. That was truly garbage. That was art for the sake of art, and it was terrible. The one with Tilda Swinton. What was that one? It was weird.
Oh, the one I compared directly to Upstream Color the next week.
Yeah, but it was a good version of it.
Well, that's subjective and wrong.
Oh, we need to talk about Kevin. That's it. The art had a reason, like it had meaning behind it. Upstream Color did not.
I think consumerism or late stage capitalism. I don't know. I'm sure they were trying to say fucking something. Let's talk about Kevin. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, there was still like a third of a movie missing.
Oh, I feel like they told it. It's just they told it out of order so you wouldn't see what was coming. Exactly.
No. I feel like it didn't earn its reveals. There was just something missing. It needed a little more.
It needed a little more, that's for sure. But it was still quite good, I thought.
Yeah, there was a missing act, essentially. They're like, hey, we have 2 acts. Let's just find an awkward place to divide them into 3 acts. And that's what we got. And that happens, but sometimes just because of budget or what have you. But
people said the book explained it much better.
Sorry?
There was a book, and people said it explained it much better than the movie could. As is usually the case, because, yeah, it's just the medium.
Well, we haven't started a book club yet. Maybe we will.
Remember I was telling you about that, the meta movie of found footage It's called Butterfly Kisses.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I
With
found
Ethan Hawke?
an interview with the author, and they asked him questions, and they brought up that book of leaves I was talking about with all the footnotes upon footnotes, and it was all meta. And he says, "Oh, I get so excited when people bring that up. I love that book, and yeah, some of my ideas came from it." So that's this meta thing is like exploding all over the world. I think
And I
we're
mean,
gonna
like,
see even cooler stories.
we review and talk about Rick and Morty. We go over so many movies that are self-referential, and you know, so like when it's done well, when it's deserved, I'm completely down for it. But I mean, then you have the opposite end of it where you have The Matrix. And I mean, yeah, right now, yeah, I'd love to see someone do it well, but I just like to see a couple movies that are standalone, good pieces of art, pieces of work that, and I just don't see anything like that coming down the pipeline right now. That might be the other reason why I cling to 30-year-old movies. Not all of them turned into franchises.
I was watching trailers for movies coming this year. There's some good looking sci-fi.
I really don't know much outside of Marvel and DC. That's kind of like, and that's kind of sad. I should get back into more film.
Well, I think I told you one where Michelle Yeoh is this elderly Asian woman, but the multiverse needs to find a specific variant of her that can, save the universe or something, save the multiverse.
So Shang-Chi and Loki put together?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think I earned a Loki crocodile pet in RuneScape today. I got to check after the stream.
Well, you'll be able to check pretty soon. I don't think we're going to go too much later here, but have you all right, I already asked you about Doctor Strange earlier, but there's a whole bunch of characters coming into this film that are going to really alter where we're going.
Like who?
American Chavez.
Who's that?
In her reality, she's a Captain America, sort of. She can fly, she's got super strength, but most importantly, she can open up portals between dimensions. As they see Doctor Strange falling through a star-shaped portal, her portals are star-shaped. So, and you see her in the trailer with what's Doctor Strange's Jane Foster?
Wong?
No. His girlfriend from the first one, the one that dies over and over again in the What If.
Oh, I don't know her name. Love interest number one.
McAdams. Rachel McAdams. So Rachel McAdams' character, Christine, that's it. Christine, Doctor Strange, and American Chavez are in a scene in the trailer. You got Wanda clearly in the trailer multiple times. You have Mordo coming back.
Who's Mordo?
The guy that leaves to hunt wizards at the end of the first Doctor Strange. Kind of helped train Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you mean.
Yeah, like they show him in the post-credit killing Neil Diamond Phillips.
Is he Asian?
He is not.
Okay, I'm thinking of someone else then.
He's black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know.
British. Very British. There are consequences, Stephen. The guy that's always warning him, and then he doesn't listen, but he ends up winning. He leaves to go hunt wizards, and he's coming back. But on top of that, there's been a ton of rumors.
He hunts wizards. That sounds funny.
Right? Yeah, he hunts wizards. There's been a ton of rumors for James or Patrick Stewart. So it's a whole bunch of different people that, and unfortunately, one that I've said a whole bunch of times, I just don't think should come back. But if Patrick Stewart's coming back as Xavier, then we might as well get Logan.
Which is what I've heard that they've been talking to each other about, trying to convince one another to go in the movie, one way or the other. I forget which.
So that would, as we said earlier, that would probably lean towards the formation of the Illuminati. This ultra powerful group of superheroes that in reality, they're just there to keep an eye on everything happening. Like they just share information. They don't really try and change anything. If they have to intervene, they they all get together and go help the Avengers or the X-Men. They're primarily good, is what I'm trying to say. And they're all ran by the smartest people. So I guess we're realizing now that that's not always the best, but
I was trying to think of how to phrase it and say, oh, well. Trust the experts. Yes.
But yeah, so with all of that and who they're bringing in, it kind of looks like we might get a version of the Illuminati, which means maybe we're going to get a Reed Richards setup.
Oh, somebody, I forget what property this writer is writing, but it's someone that did one of the Fantastic Four movies and another bomb, and they're doing a modern property. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I wish I could remember what it was now, but I think they did Fan Four Steak, which tells you they're terrible.
Oh, Fan Forced. That actually took me a minute to realize what you meant. You know what? If the MCU hadn't existed when that movie came out, it's just a fun, dumb movie. It gets a lot of flack, but it's really not that bad. It just
Yeah, it is.
I try not to.
Is Fan Four Steak specifically the one where they get Jessica Alba naked for no reason on a bridge other than she's Jessica Alba?
Oh, no, I thought you meant the current remake.
The one that's coming?
No, the latest one that came out.
Yeah, I don't even remember which one was the latest. They're all terrible.
The kids.
I might not have seen that then.
The teenagers. They go to another dimension in pods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's the actors?
Nobody's.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Like literal children. Like they're young. They're teenagers.
I just know there's never been a good Fantastic Four movie, so.
I don't hate the first one.
I remember not liking it. It's like they're all like Green Lantern. They're all just. Well, you like Green Lantern.
I need to rewatch Green Lantern. I just wanted to play devil's advocate and drop a little bit of hope for how. It's not that bad, but I mean, I really should rewatch it. It set up it also set up a whole bunch of stuff that would have liked to have seen come out. Why is this guy in a sling?
Nothing in this movie makes sense. Including the rope.
Calling for a bongo time.
Yep.
I made this one. I have no idea how much longer that goes for. I turned it off. I was just screwing around with Animator.
It comes up on my Twitch, but interestingly, my StreamYard browser didn't play it. Said there was an error.
Oh. Wow. I mean, we've technically gone over all three films. We have
No matter where you go, there you are.
I just like pressing all the buttons.
Pressing all the buttons got me in trouble yesterday. I accidentally gave Sabrina $15 when I meant to give her $5.
Oh, geez, like 15 American dollars.
Yeah.
Well, you're taught. Are you her best friend now?
She was, you could tell she was surprised. She was like, Dazzy, 15? Really? Like, because I've never done that. So she didn't know I made a mistake. I hit the button by accident. But she was very happy. So, yeah.
I have yet to put my credit card into Twitch.
I pre-buy bits, and I accidentally gave her too many bits out of my pre-bought pool.
Well, I will inevitably buy some bits, and because I want to subscribe to. I won't do it probably every month, but once in a while.
Oh, the subscriptions are separate from the bits. And speaking of that, I also gifted a subscription to Psycho Stick because they popped into her chat.
Amazing.
I'm just throwing money at her.
So what do you spend on her a year?
By now, I've probably given her like $400. I don't know.
Wow. Well, on that note, hopefully one day we get a viewer somewhere like you. I'm gonna call it an early evening. I still have some more shoveling to do before morning. And we've managed to watch like 80% of Buckaroo Banzai in the background. Anything else you want to add to the evening?
It was maybe 200. I think 400 in total on Twitch.
One last bongo time.
Yeah, and that's over 9 months, dude.
Well, you still got 3 more ones to top it up.
Oh, I will. But man, for the amount of time and enjoyment I get out of it, it's paid for itself in fun. We're on it right now because of my obsession with Twitch.
Very true. Well, folks, it's another movie club. This one a little short and still fun, but we talked a bit about Man from Earth, Wolves, and Man of Tai Chi. Maybe we'll discuss them again on Wednesday as we're talking about cartoons. Just because then we'll have Pearson there and maybe he'll have watched them by then, so we can at least touch base with them again. Until then, everybody, thanks for joining us, Zach. You have a good night, and
You too.
everyone, stay tuned and stay lifted. Right, I wasn't ready with the graphic yet.
No matter where you go,